Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy, and today's cute card is an Easter Bunny card using die cuts and distress inks to put this card together. Now I've used some Simon Says stamp products and some Lawn Fawn products to make this adorable Easter Bunny. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some distress inks in spiced marmalade, excuse me, tongue twister, and bundled sage. So the bottom is going to be bundled sage. I didn't realize how much I love this color until I started using it right now. I was looking for a really soft kind of pastel green and it worked. So inking that up using my mini ink blender tool, and then the next color is the spiced marmalade. And I like how those two came together. Now, after this, I did need a really soft, buttery yellow. And so I've used Simon Hurley's Over the Moon ink. Absolutely love it. I think if you're looking for a good butter yellow, this is a great ink for that. Blends in perfectly with the other inks. I love how that came together. Something about it feels almost fall until I put the lattice, the fancy lattice backdrop on top of it. Then it felt very spring. So blended all those colors together, came together super easy. Did it on some watercolor cardstock. Took those same colors on another piece of cardstock, just inked up some different spots because I'm going to be using Lawn Fawn's mini Easter eggs, and I'm going to be die cutting those out of this paper. I wanted them to all kind of be of similar colors. I didn't really want to bring in a ton more other colors, and I really wanted this to be a nice soft card instead of a super bright card. Misting that with my distress sprayer because I wanted the eggs to have that speckled look. So we're going to clean that up and put that aside. So here is, from Lawn Fawn, the fancy lattice backdrop, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Ran that through my die cut machine using my tool-in-one from Spellbinders to kind of roll out all those little pieces. That thing works fantastic. You can use the little pointy end to poke out any that are being stubborn. Super good. So the cardstock that I'm using for the bunny is kind of a really warm, really soft gray. It's just some I've had in my stash. And so I'm going to run him through my die cut machine. And this is Simon Says Stamp Big Picture Book Bunny. And then I'm also going to run his ears through with a white because I need the centerpiece to the ears. Because I'm going to be coloring those with Copic markers. I didn't have a soft enough pink that I wanted. Then the eggs, I'm going to run those through the die cut machine on those colored spots that we made. And then also there's a solid egg that I ran through on white cardstock, so it would be the back piece of those colored pieces. So here are those, the white piece. Cut 3 of those because I'm just going to have 3 eggs. And this is the Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cut machine. So see how those come together? Super cute. Okay, so here is the center of the bunny's ears, and I am going to be using R20 or R00 and R20 for the highlights, or for the shadowing, excuse me. Just a little bit around the edges, nothing fancy, guys. Blend it out, and then that will just go into the center of his ears. Now I've also cut out 2 of his little muzzle pieces because we're going to make that 3D. So now I'm adding glue. I am using Lawn Fawn's glue tube to the back of this lattice thing. You can see I got the new tweezers, you guys. Oh my, I was struggling because I'm used to squeezing when I want it to close and it was squeezing when it was opening. Oh my gosh, I was cracking myself up. So anyway, sticking this down on another piece of paper. Now I saw Christina Warner do this, and I'm pretty sure she said she saw Debbie Hughes doing it. So pretty genius. So it takes off a lot of that glue so you don't have a bunch of it squishing out in between your beautiful cards. I adhered that to the background piece that we had colored. So now here's these tweezers, and I was just laughing, so I had to show you guys. They're fabulous tweezers, and I'm sure most of you use them. I just hadn't bought a pair yet, and it was messing with me. You know, you do something your whole life one way, and then you try to do it different. It doesn't work. So here are the Fancy Waves banners from Lawn Fawn. I cut that out of just white cardstock. And then from the Lawn Fawn's Reveal Wheel Spring Sentiments, it's going to say, have a very happy Easter. And there's 3 sentiments. So I'm kind of matching it up to make it follow along the wavy border. So I just stick it down onto my block, give it a little bit of a bend. It works great because it's sticking to your block or to your surface. And then you can adjust it to fit your banner. Super easy. Then I'm going to be inking that up using the Simon Hurley's Over the Moon ink. But I wanted to test it out first on a scratch piece of paper to make sure everything's lined up good, spaced good, something's not wonky. So, turned out great. Now I'm going to ink that up, stamp that on my banner. And now let's put together this cute Easter bunny. Again, using Lawn Fawn's glue tube. I do really like this glue. The one thing I will say, not negative at all, this doesn't slide around like other liquid glue. So if you're using it, be sure that that's where you want it. So now I'm going to put in the little center pieces. I think I was starting to get the hang of these tweezers, you guys. For real, I just felt like the biggest ding dong. I'm like, what is my deal here? Put those little ears in there, his little center pieces. And then we're going to add his eyes. I cut everything out of the same color cardstock because I'm going to be using my black glaze pen on his eyes. Now you could do a colored cardstock just fine. That was not what I was going to do. Now I really got a hang of those tweezers, y'all. Adding in his little nose piece, his little muzzle, his little nose. The second nose piece we are going to be popping up on foam tape because I did want him to have some dimension. So I just used 2 little tiny pieces of foam. And I did it backwards, and so it stuck to my work surface, which was quite funny. I think it was just one of those days. So get those 2 pieces on, peel off the backing, center that in. Now you also have a sticky spot to place his nose down, which again, I did not use a colored cardstock because I was kind of debating if I was going to be coloring it black or coloring it pink, so I just left it the gray color. And now you've got this cute dimension. So I added the second set of eyes that I cut out, and then they would have a little bit more dimension too once I put on the black glaze pen. So now the banner, you fold it back and then fold it forward. It has 2 score marks on each side. So the first one you fold back and then forward. And I got myself a new bone folder from Lawn Fawn, and it is pretty fantastic, you guys. So I'm going to color his cheeks R20, and then I took the colorless blender and just went over it just to soften it up a little bit. And as soon as that soaks into the paper, it gets quite a bit softer. So I added foam tape to the center of this banner die because it's popped up, and then I added the liquid glue to the other parts that are stuck down onto the card. So now let's put together these cute eggs, a little bit of the Lawn Fawn's glue tube, stick it to the white background because I'm going to be coloring that in with some Nuvo Crystal drops. Did all 3 of those. Put those aside. Here's the black glaze pen for the eyes, and then once that was dry, and it dries fairly quick, I took a white gel pen and added a little bit of highlights. I took R20 to color his nose, and I'm letting that stuff dry. So let's add these eggs to the side of the Easter bunny. I didn't want a whole lot of embellishments because this backdrop is absolutely gorgeous, and then the bunny you want to be front and center, but you needed a little something else. You could also do this with flowers. That would be darling, but I was definitely wanting Easter eggs. So I took W1 and then R20 and added some dot detail to the bunny. The R20 was on the pink part of his ears, and the W1 was on him, just a little bit of dots to give him the tiniest bit of soft texture. Glossy accents for the nose because I wanted that to be nice and shiny. Now these 3 colors, when I was at this Creative Escapes with Lawn Fawn, they had these Nuvo drops there and they are gorgeous. So the Nuvo Crystal drops Buttercream and sugar almond. So I'm using buttercream right now. And then this is sugar almond. And then Nuvo Dream Drops in dragon scales. It was very similar to this sage green, but then it's got this metallic iridescent look about it. Fabulous. So I am using those colors to fill in the parts on these Easter eggs. I wanted them to have shiny. You could color them in with anything and then add glossy accents if you didn't have any Nuvo Crystal drops. Totally fabulous. So then I'm using those same drops and adding some little dots all over the card. Not a ton, because I really love how this turned out, but I felt like it needed a little bit of embellishments around. So why not? Again, that is the sugared almond. It's beautiful. And then the buttermilk. I think these are great spring colors. Super pretty. And those Nuvo Dream Drops, I was loving that when I opened it up. So now I'm going to adhere this to a side fold A2 size card base. And that backdrop, that fancy lattice backdrop, is A2 sized. So adhere that down, and then we've got this cute Easter bunny. Isn't he darling? Anyone would love this card. So really quick, I wanted to talk about this stamp set that I bought. These are to adorn your envelopes, and plenty of companies have come together. Lawn Fawn, Jennifer Maguire, Pink Fresh, Concord 9th, Gina K, Waffle Flower, Altenew, and 100% of the profits go back to the Dreaming Zebra Foundation. So they provide art and music materials free of charge to a lot of schools and community organizations across the country. So if you guys get a chance to get this stamp set, you should. It's a good cause, and they're darling to add onto your envelopes on the front, on the back. Really super, super cute. And so I was glad I picked this up at that event that I was at. And so you can, you could color these in after you stamp your envelope. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are a blessing to me. If you like what you've seen, please thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me comments. I love it. I do have some affiliate links below, along with all the supplies that I used. If you use them, thank you so very much.